All right, so the video I'm going to create today and what I'm going to talk about, the topic, is actually a topic that I've been told specifically by people who in the past have helped me sell my coaching program, not really to talk about, which is that, like, what real estate investing will really do for the average agent, for the average investor, for the average person. You see, in the real estate investing industry, most of the claims, and sometimes it's not even a claim, it's just the pictures that are put out there, the visions that are put out there, the way that people, that real estate mentors talk, is that real estate investing will have you become extraordinarily wealthy. You'll be flying, or you'll be in private jets, or you will be earning $100,000 a month in passive income in a brief period of time. And the reason for this disingenuous selling of real estate investing is that there is an entire industry of real estate coaches out there that want to charge big coaching fees for this type of advice on how to get people super mega rich through investing in real estate. And I learned about this as I was selling my coaching program in the past. I actually hired a company that helped me sell my program. And a lot of what I would consider that they wanted me to do was unethical. So I stopped doing it. A lot of you know how I run my coaching program now, and I'm not going to go into details right here. But I want to talk today about, like, what is real, like what's reality. Like, if you're thinking about investing in real estate, what does it actually look like? Like, what will it actually do to your life? How will it change your life? What are the realistic outcomes, etc.? So I want to talk about that because I want you all to understand both the importance and what the reality of it is. So I'm going to tell quickly my story about how it changed my life. So I started out as a real estate agent in 2005. And I remember for the first couple years of being in real estate, pretty much every single month that went by, I was actually nervous that I was even going to be able to stay self-employed. I remember thinking every single day, please don't let me go back and get a job. That was my main thing, right? And I know I talk a lot about agents being on the real estate roller coaster, but I was on the real estate roller coaster. And what I mean by that is, like, I would have a really good couple of months. Then I would have, like, no money coming in for multiple months at a time. And I remember thinking, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to have to go out and get another job? And this went on, let's see, I did my first investing deal in 2008. So this went on for like 3 years, where I seriously, it gave me tons of anxiety. Like, every single day I would be nervous that, hey, I'd have to go back to my 9-to-5 job. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to build my own business. But it always felt like no matter what I did, even though I was making progress, I was always on the verge of going back to being a W-2 employee. And I know, like, if you're listening and you work a full-time job and you're happy in your full-time job, like, I'm not knocking that. Like, it's a perfectly fine thing to work for somebody else. It's an admirable thing. For me, though, it just didn't make me happy. So I was always, nervous about that. And it wasn't until I did my first investing deal that this kind of changed, because every single month when I would look at my bank account back in 2005, 2006, 2007, like, I can remember having, like, just enough money to pay my bills. And sometimes I didn't even have enough money to pay my bills. I put stuff on credit cards. I would forego payments and stuff like that. And, like, it was tough in the very, very beginning. But when I did my first investing deal that I signed in 2008, closed in 2009, where me and my two partners made $115,000, I remember the feeling of putting, I think we took out maybe $25,000 each. I remember the feeling of putting $25,000 into my savings account in 2009, and just feeling that, like, breath, like, that relief, like, oh my God, like, I don't need to have a closing next month. I don't need to kill it this this spring. Like I can just do okay, and I'm going to survive, right? And from that point on, I became what I now preach as an agent investor. I was selling real estate, making okay money selling real estate. I never killed it as an agent. I don't even know if I made six figures any years as an agent. I mean, I probably made close a couple years, or maybe I made just six figures as an agent. But most of the time, I probably made somewhere between like 40 and 80,000, like in the beginning years. And I may have even had a year where I was below that, as just selling real estate. So 2009, did my first investing deal, became an agent investor. And now every few months I was doing a flip deal, right? In the beginning, maybe I flipped in that first year, maybe I flipped 2 or 3 houses, right? And made $100,000 flipping, divided by my partners, right? But it wasn't necessarily about the fact about how much I made. It was about the fact that in the beginning, it gave me the ability to not have to sell a house that month. It gave me savings. And then it eventually led me to be able to reinvest back into my own company to generate more leads, to do more deals. I don't want to go too far off the deep end with that topic. But eventually, as I did that, and I went from doing 1 or 2 deals a year to 4 or 5 flips a year, and still maintaining selling, the same amount of real estate, maybe even a little bit more real estate as time went on. Now I got myself into a position where I was flipping homes, and now I had money for a down payment to buy assets. And I remember the first property that we ever bought was on Baker Street in Lynn, the first multifamily. It was a 6-unit or a 5-unit. I can't even remember. We eventually sold that one in Lynn. It was an auction. I think we paid $250,000. And once we got that cleaned up, and once we got it rented out, now on top of the fix and flip income, that we had, on top of the agent income that we had, now we had a monthly distribution check from that rental. And we kept doing that over and over again. And we got up to a few hundred small rentals. I know most of you know that we are now doing apartment buildings. But like, to me, when I think about like talking to agents about like how does your life change, and I talk about like the fact that you're not going to probably be, flying in private jets. Not that you can't eventually get there. Like, I want to be clear. Real estate investing, you can become very, very, very wealthy. But for most people, not only is that going to take a very long time, it may never happen. For most people, you may just get like low-level wealthy. And what I mean by that is that low-level wealthy, meaning that in the course of 4, 5, 6 years, you may have enough monthly income coming in from your rentals that it pays your bills. Then you have fix and flip income and real estate income as your like savings that you can then either reinvest back into your business, pay down your mortgage, or do whatever with. That's 3, 4, 5, 6 years out for most people who make the switch. And to me, again, like, what does it mean for most people? Well, it means that anxiety of needing to sell a house, of needing to work with a bad client, of needing to work weekends, that goes away when you start investing, right? And those small things, well, I mean, they're really huge things because when you really think about it, yes, somebody who's a billionaire has a lot more money than somebody who I would call low-level wealthy. But really, if you can kind of be where you want, doing what you want most of the time, your lifestyle is going to kind of be similar to theirs. Yeah, I know they might have a much bigger house or a much bigger car, but really, what do we all want? Like, we all want, yeah, do I want to have, I don't even know. I don't even know if I even want, truthfully, like a bigger or nicer house. Like, I mean, I've got a much better, bigger house than I ever thought I would. So I don't even know. Like, that's the thing. Like, once you get to that low level of wealth and you have time freedom, I don't know. Like, is it really that important whether you have a $100,000 car or a $300,000 car or a $50,000 car? It's like, okay, whatever. But having said all of that, like, this is stuff that takes 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And for most people, it's just going to lead to a lifestyle that you can be where you want, when you want, how you want, and you're living, life on your terms. And really, that to me is what it's all about. Because now you have time to spend with friends, you have time to spend with your family. And one other small benefit of this that a lot of people don't think about is, if you're not having to do kind of the bad things in your business anymore, like work with buyers, or you're like, I don't even know if they're ever going to buy. If you can punt on that and actually put your time into areas of your business that are going to give you bigger ROI, you're actually going to build a better business as well, a bigger business, a more financially successful business. So I say all of this, if you've seen real estate investing gurus driving Lamborghinis, pumping up these crazy, stupid lifestyles, it's going to take a long time to get there. And frankly, I don't even think you should even have a goal to get there. Have a goal to get to a point where you start fixing and flipping a few houses a year, partnering with us, and doing the small things to change your life. Again, I could go on and on more about this, but the premise here is by following the stuff that we talk about, I can almost guarantee you're going to get very good results. But, you might not be flying in a private jet. So if you're okay with that, my advice, if you haven't taken action yet, is to come to our next event that we're going to be hosting in Boston. Try to make it as convenient as possible for people, that you can register for now at www.agentinvestorevent.com. That event will be coming up. And by the way, if you're listening to this way after the fact, after the event, you can always go to www.agentinvestorevent.com and see the latest event. I'm always going to use that URL. I'll change the description of the next event. But the next event that we're going to have coming up is how to find fix and flip deals in 2 minutes or less. Might sound impossible or made up, but I've done a couple videos on examples. I won't do that here. Don't want to take up any more of your time. But there are a lot of ways to find fix and flip deals if you're a real estate agent pretty passively. So check out the next event. It's free. Can't really get better than free. And it'll be in Boston, so it should be easy for most people in New England to get to. Even if you live a bit of a distance, usually getting to Boston is pretty central. So again, www.agentinvestorevent.com. Guys, trust me, this stuff is worth doing. It's definitely worth coming to a free event, and it's definitely worth learning about how you can find deals in less than 2 minutes a day. I mean, come on. So check it out, www.agentinvestorevent.com. I'll see you guys there. Thanks for tuning in today.